Welcome, everyone, to Group A, round of 16 of Rogue City Rumble, brought to you by Rogues Gallery. It's a brand new North American Star League event. I'm Keen. Casting with me tonight will be Ninjube, and our observer will be Crazy for tonight. So first of all, I just want to point everyone over to the match arena for this event. If anyone wants to contribute to bolster our prize pool, we're up about $750 already for the total of the event. And if anyone would like to donate, please head on over to the match arena. There should be a link in chat for that. And then our Discord server, as usual, is a great place to keep up with all of our events. We'll be casting each leg of this event live. So this week we'll be casting Group A. Next Friday, we'll actually be casting Group C. And then Group B will be cast the following week. And then so on and so forth. Group D will be cast the week after. And so tonight, Group A is actually going to be super, super fun to cast. We'll be first casting Crossy versus Gypsy, best of one at Chikura's Temple. And then the following match will be Hawk versus Hit 'em Up. Honestly, this is a crazy group. Crossy, Gypsy, and Hawk are all like probably top 4, top 5 players. So really interesting to see what happens this week.
Yeah, I think we definitely have a pretty stacked group here to start off. It's going to be pretty wild. A lot of TVZs, some ZVZs, and we'll have to see how Hit 'em Up. We'll have to see what races he gets. It's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's truly a wild card match. Hit 'em Up is like a very, very, very good player in his own right. He's kind of the underdog of this group, but I think he has like multiple accounts, like 2,300 plus on ladder right now. So definitely can't count him out. And especially given that he's random, I mean, anything could happen in those games. It's a little awkward, playing Zerg against random. So we'll have to see how Hawk decides to do that, if he wants to open up with like an aggressive pool first or just play it safe and go hatch first. Either way, it could leave him vulnerable depending on what Hit 'em Up rolls. But I mean, Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I mean, I was just gonna say. I mean, I wonder how much practice the three other players have against random. I mean, how much practice will you dedicate to figuring out how you're supposed to play against random as a Zerg for Crossy and Hawk, and as a Terran for Gypsy? I mean, they might just go for some sort of generic kind of catch all or catch as much as you possibly can type of builds, and maybe Hit 'em Up will have something prepared to capitalize on those kinds of opening. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when I'm in Group B, and when I had the chance to pick the third player for my group, I mean, I was thinking about picking him up because he is probably like one of the underdogs of this event for sure. But I mean, honestly, it's scary. It was scary to me just because, like, how are you supposed to prepare to face someone like that? I feel like it's super hard. But yeah, I mean, let's not forget Crossy versus Gypsy for our first game tonight. That's going to be an absolutely insane match. I mean, first of all, Gypsy's TVZ is just monstrous. I mean, he's frightening. Just watching him playing against Gypsy is super oppressive as Zerg. His mechanics are insane, but by the same token, Crossy is pretty much like at least probably top 2, if not top 1, favorite in the event for North America, along with Boa. And also, Crossy is just known for being like an extremely aggressive player. So, I mean, best of 1 is really, there's no way to predict what's going to happen in this first match.
Yeah, Crossy really strikes me as a proper Zerg. Like he doesn't just go blindly into the late game, not doing anything. He really takes risks. He moves around his units a lot. He's constantly looking for opportunities and counterattacks, and he's very quick. He's very quick on his feet. So I don't know. Maybe manage to catch Gypsy off guard. I know Gypsy has been playing a lot recently, is really on top of his game. Unfortunately, that game is Monster Hunter World and not Stardust. So we'll have to see how that plays, how that affects his practice.
Yeah, that's right. He has been talking about Monster Hunter quite a bit, but I know for a fact that he's been practicing quite a bit this week. Neither player has been, taking each other lightly. I know for a fact both of them have been practicing constantly. I've had the chance to watch some of Gypsy's like streamed games against a couple other North American Zergs this week, and yeah, he's definitely looking scary. Um, but yeah, like I said, I mean, Crossy is definitely an aggressive Zerg, but he's by no means cheesy. His builds are like really really crisp, and he just takes any opportunity he gets and runs with it. So can't wait to watch this.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be an incredible match. Hawk versus Hit 'em Up. Um, yeah, I mean, like you said, I think as Zerg, how do you open against? Yeah, I'll ask you this. I mean, how would you open versus a random as Zerg?
I mean, it's really hard because it's really tempting to go 11 hatch or 12 hatch, um, because if you're against Terran or Protoss, going like 9 pool, for example, generally is kind of weak. And I think random players usually kind of expect like cheesy aggressive openings. And if you go 9 pool, you'll just be sort of playing into their hand a little bit. But if you do go hatch first and then they roll Zerg and go like 9 pool speed or something, it's almost like an insta loss. So honestly, I would probably roll the dice and go hatch first myself.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. But it looks like we're about to start our first game here. Um, we're in the lobby currently. How do you feel about Shakura's Temple for our first map?
So I haven't. I've played it a little bit. Uh, it's one of those bizarre map. I mean, already when you scout, you'll see your worker just doesn't go through the middle of the map. It's not one of those typical maps, where you have your four bases in the corner and then you have to go towards like the central area of the map, and
Mhm.
then you kind of have to go back into the corners. You can really just go through all the little bases on the side to scout. Um, there's a lot of ramps going up towards the center of the map and towards the other bases. What that means for TVZ exactly, uh, I'm not too sure. But I mean, we'll talk about this more once we get into the game. But there's a couple of things about the natural and Muda harass and that we can certainly talk about in this game.
Mhm. All right, so it looks like we have our blue Zerg Crossy in the bottom right, and our red Terran Gypsy in the top left. So yeah, cross positions. I was actually going to mention like one of the things that it really is tough for me as a Zerg playing on this map, both against Terran and Protoss, is that the uh, the rush distances seem quite short. So um, kind of interested to see how this will play out for both players. They can play a little bit more greedy. Gypsy probably won't be able to get like a CC first before he starts making Marines because he'll have a little bit later of a scout. So I would guess that it's a little bit of an advantage for Crossy starting cross map. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you said definitely makes sense. I think when you're cross position, I think the question for the Zerg is where do you take your third base? If you were to take your main base, I mean, if you were to take your third hatchery or third base rather in one of the opposite corners, then obviously you're closer to the Terran. That being said, you might just want to take the third base that's close to you, as that has like a pretty narrow entrance to it, so you can defend it without too many difficulties. Um, yeah, I mean, that being said, I mean, these players could go for anything. I mean, who knows how much of their preparation hinges on the actual map, So,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting to see two Muta out of Crossy. I mean, that's obviously by far the most popular build right now. We have seen some like three Hatch builds coming into fashion a little bit more recently. But yeah, it is kind of a hard question to answer whether like see so the close expansions do have a narrow choke, but it's not as narrow as a lot of other maps, and it's just there's no high ground leading up to it either, so it's a little harder to defend than say like Sylphid, for example. But yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, it's also a huge risk trying to expand to one of the corner bases and take a main.
Yeah, Sylphid definitely has some what I would call, free bases for Zerg, as you just have a tiny ramp and you put a sunken and it covers the whole base essentially. So yeah, it's definitely going to be harder for a Zerg to hold on to a base like that. And yeah, I mean, that being said, like you predicted, I mean, two Hatch Muta from Crossy. Looks like it's just going to be Rax and an expansion from Gypsy. That's going to be coming down soon, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so oh, okay, this is interesting. High ground command center. How do you feel about that?
Well, yeah, I guess he didn't feel comfortable. He didn't scout quickly enough, and I guess he just doesn't want to risk the fact that there might be I mean, the possibility that a night pool might be on the way, and if you have your CC on the low ground and you don't have a bunker up ready, obviously you're in a lot of trouble because you won't be able to defend your CC. I mean, I think it's fine. It's obviously just a little bit annoying, but it's nothing that will decide the game, I think.
Well, see, the thing is, I believe Crossy did peek in there with his drone and see that there was no CC on site, and
Right.
so I'm wondering if it'll be a little bit of a mind game. Like Crossy might people call it bluff, but he might think that it's like 1-1-1 or a mech build or something. Because if you see that like after 3 minutes there's no CC down there,
Hmm.
you have to assume that it's like could be some weird one base build, right?
Yeah, that's true. I didn't consider that. Yeah, maybe it was just intentional from Gypsy to kind of hide what he's doing and maybe get Crossy to think that, oh, it's a best of one for this first match, so maybe I'm just cheesing you. Yeah, you're right. It makes a lot of sense. He's hiding some Marines behind as well. So maybe he's trying to make it look like it's mech, but it's actually just going to be like maybe a quick bio push.
Yeah, but it looks like Crossy did call the bluff, and he's actually going 2 Ash Lurker. So this is intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's quite a few ramps leading down towards the bases or leading up towards the main the central area. Maybe that's affecting his decision making. It is cross spawn though, so I mean, oh, but Gypsy, yeah, getting us, yeah, okay. I mean, both players I think are playing. They're reading into each other's play very well. I think getting the depot and the bunker in front, or the depot in front and the bunker behind rather. Looks like I think Gypsy's going to be in a decent spot.
Yeah, it looks like Gypsy's just playing very, very safe. He lost his SEV like fairly quickly, but he's not cutting any corners. Like he's making sure he's getting the bunker up. It looks like he just wants to get into like mid or late game without any issues. But we'll see if he actually scouts the 2 Ash Lurker in time.
Hmm.
Um, oh, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, our observer Crazy just pointed out that there's very few drones at the natural for Crossy. So this is I mean, two hatch lurker is obviously quite relatively all in already, but this is really and two scans going down. Is this? I mean, is Gypsy gonna have detection for the lurkers though?
Honestly, I don't know, but the eBay should for sure be finished on time, and
Yeah.
he is pushing out now, so he's going to try to delay the lurkers. The problem is he doesn't know where they'll be coming from.
Yeah, I think yeah, you're right. I think we'll see probably a turret in front, maybe another bunker. It's always a little bit difficult when you scan and you see lurkers. You have to figure out. And we see that as CV. That tells you a lot. There's just so many zerglings. It's not some sort of econ. Like there's not a strong econ behind this. Is what I'm trying to say.
And his bunkers are really late. I think this might honestly just bust him straight up, assuming
Yeah,
Crossy micros correctly.
yeah. Here we go. Lurkers coming in. Lings pushing the Marines back. Looks like the bunker's gonna go down. There's no turret.
Oh
They got.
wow, yeah,
Oh
he
my
doesn't,
god.
like you said, he doesn't have detection.
I think he's gonna get us. He must have energy soon, but four lurkers is not. Yeah, there it is.
There we
50.
go.
He has to scan. Oh man. Yeah,
He'll need some godlike micro to finesse this, though.
yeah, he
I,
might
I,
just. He might just give up the natural, I think, and wait for like a tank and to push out.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to do. He might try to make. Well, we'll see. Yeah, I guess he's just giving up this position now. But wow, this is great for Crossy.
Yeah, like this is gonna take forever for Gypsy to move out. The tank. I mean, the starport just started, and Crossy is taking a third behind this, going up to high real quick now. I guess we'll just see a quick defiler follow up, and he'll just try to end the game real quick. I think.
Yeah, this is a classic 2-hatch lurk into Defiler, but the thing is, like, Crossy is playing it really, like, nicely. He didn't overmake lurkers at all. Right after these 4 lurkers and all those lings, he's starting to drone up again. He's getting his third base up, and his hive is going to be perfectly timed. So I'm honestly, like, it's going to be really hard for Gypsy to claw his way back into this.
Yeah, I'm curious why he didn't build a turret after he used both scans and saw the Hydralisk then. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, he's definitely in a hard spot now, and I like that he built another comsat in his from his Nat CC that's now in his main, trying to push down with it. Oh,
Oh,
good.
wow.
Oh,
Almost
yeah,
losing that tank. That would have been probably game ending if he lost that tank, honestly.
yeah. He definitely can't afford to delay, the push out because Crossy actually has a decent economy now. And I expect the Defiler mount to come down any second. I think that drone is gonna.
Yeah, 100%. There's a little bit of lag there, but
Yeah,
yeah, that's for sure
yeah, there we go.
Defilement.
Yeah,
And yeah, Crossy also getting up the Spire, just like one of the few ways that Gypsy could like potentially come back is just by getting like a godlike drop off. But Crossy accounting for that.
yeah. The drop is definitely something you have to watch out for when you skip the Spire to go straight into lurkers. Um, so yeah, I mean it's all gonna come down to whether or not Gypsy can move out in time. Um, the science facility must be close to done by now, so I'm assuming a vessel is almost out. Hopefully,
And it is a little scary for Crossy now. I mean, Gypsy has successfully retaken his natural, and he's opened up a little bit of space for himself in front of the natural. But he's still, I assume he doesn't have any energy left on any of his comsets, so he's really stuck until the vessel is out. Oh, there it goes, though.
yeah. So I think he needs to move out very quickly. And try to get some pressure on the Zerg, keep the Zerg on the back foot, because if the Defiler is just allowed to show up at his natural with a bunch of lurkers, that's game over. So I think the pressure's on Gypsy right now to move out onto the map.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really precarious position for Crossy, though. Honestly, I'm surprised that Gypsy's his timing was perfect with his tech. Like he did not miss a beat. Getting his factory up, getting his starport up, and his science facility up. So this is like the exact correct timing that he needs to like put pressure on Crossy, like right before the defilers would have been able to get to his natural. That would have been almost game ending. Now Crossy is going to be on the back foot. He's going to have to defend with Dark Swarm. So kind of all the momentum is gone, surprisingly.
Yeah, I definitely thought that Crossy would kind of keep the pressure on, but it looks like yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, he didn't make any more lurkers, which is nice. It allows you to transition quickly and have defilers and whatnot, but you also kind of lose. It was really easy for Gypsy to move out. He just started poking the lurkers. He killed one, another one was chunked in like one scan, and now Gypsy's out on the map, and Crossy is like, doing the typical like, fighting back from his bases and trying to make his way towards across the map, towards the Terran base.
Right. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think this is beautiful play from Crossy. Usually, how I conceive of 2-hatch lurker is like kind of an all-in build, but he's playing this as the way, like, honestly, like Zerg mix-ups and Zerg cheeses should be played, where it doesn't have to be an all-in. It's not just like some mindless cheese where you're just trying to kill the opponent right away. He got an advantage and he's just rolling with it. So now he has 4 bases. Gypsy just got his second base finally up.
Yeah, but I think now we're entering, we're entering the phase of the game where Gypsy, I think, is really at his best. This kind of multitasking, fighting the Defiler, throwing down swarms, lurkers moving around. I think that's really Gypsy's forte, as he has, like, like we said, like an insane amount of mechanic APM,
Yeah,
whatever you want.
yeah, his mechanics are absolutely insane. I mean, look, he's like consistently at like 400 APM right now. I think his E APM is like something like 270 to 300. The guy is just a machine.
Yeah, looks like he's preparing a drop here. There's dropships lurking around, picking up some marines. Gonna go towards the fourth base. Vessel goes down. That's gonna put a hamper on his efforts to push the third. The dropship heading in, dropping. Looks like that's gonna delay. It's gonna get a few drones and delay the mining of the fourth.
I mean, it's cleaned up really quickly by Crossy, honestly. I was kind of hoping Crossy would like pull back some of the Scourge and go for the dropship instead. His dropships just terrify me as they're so easy to just lose to one single dropship in ZVT, but actually he just took out the Science Vessel and just cleaned it up anyway. And being on one starport, getting his like second gas delayed like that, and then losing the dropship for not much damage, I mean, I think Gypsy's in a really tough position right now. Because you really want, as a Terran player, I'm sure you really prize like having a lot of vessels in late game, or else it's kind of hard to keep up with all the defilers and everything, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And as we just saw, Gypsy's upgrades actually for his bio units are just non-existent right now. So this is going to make it really hard for him to keep up. Crossy already has one armor upgrade. There's the +2 from the Ultralisk Cavern upgrade. It's going to be hard for Gypsy to fight this. We just saw the Marines shoot the Ultralisk. He didn't take much damage. So
Yeah.
hopefully Gypsy gets his upgrades going real quick. Otherwise, this game's going to end.
Yeah, Crazy just panned over the eBay, and there's two eBays, but only one of them was researching. So, yeah, especially against upgraded Ultralists, like if you don't keep up in upgrades, yeah, you'll do. They're like pea shooters. They won't do anything to them. And now on 4 gas, with a 5th base on the way. Honestly, I don't know. I think this is Crossy's game right now.
Oh yeah, that's certainly true. You can see it reflected in the supplies as well. The difference between the two supplies isn't as marked as you would like to as a Terran player. It's definitely too close for comfort. But that being said, you talked about how the dropship is such a scary unit. That might be the way back. I think in TVZ, Terran's always, like 1 or 2 drops away from winning the game. Outright just wiping out a base. If a dropship can get in. So, yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if Gypsy can make anything happen.
Yeah, for sure. But we see Crossy is actually bringing the fight to Gypsy's like front door right now. He's not denying the 3rd base with just a handful of lings